In the previous episodes, we navigated the darkest depths of the human experience and witnessed the unbreakable spirit in the heart of absolute suffering. We now stand at the base of a magnificent mountain, looking toward the light of our highest potential. Welcome to episode 9 of our journey through the human mind. This is Abraham Maslow and the map to your highest version. Today, we leave the darkness behind and begin the climb toward the peak of the human soul. For the first half of the 20th century, psychology was a science of the broken. If you walked into a psychologist's office, they looked at you through one of two lenses. Either you were a victim of dark, repressed childhood traumas, as Freud suggested, or you were a programmable machine driven by external rewards, as the behaviorists claimed. Abraham Maslow looked at this landscape and realized that science was ignoring the most beautiful parts of being human. He argued that if you only study stunted, crippled, and unhealthy specimens, you can only produce a cripple psychology. He didn't want to know why people failed. He wanted to know why people flew. Maslow became the leader of what we now call the third force. He turned his attention away from mental wards and toward the most successful, creative, and fulfilled people he could find, studying historical figures like Albert Einstein or Eleanor Roosevelt. He discovered that human nature isn't just about avoiding pain or seeking pleasure. We have an inherent biological drive to grow. Just as a flower has an internal blueprint to bloom, Maslow believed every human has an internal blueprint to reach greatness. This shift moved psychology from a focus on what is wrong with you to how great can you become. Maslow's most iconic contribution is the hierarchy of needs. He proposed that human motivation isn't random, it's a structured climb. He used the concept of prepotency, meaning that the lower, more urgent needs must be satisfied before the higher ones can even emerge in our consciousness. It begins at the very base with our physiological needs. This is the foundation of the human machine: food, water, air, and sleep. When these are missing, the brain enters a state of emergency. You cannot contemplate philosophy if you haven't eaten in 3 days. Once the body is fed, we reach for safety. This isn't just about physical protection, it's about emotional and financial security, knowing you have a roof over your head and a world that feels predictable. Higher still, we find the need for love and belonging. We are social creatures to our core. Without a tribe, a part of us withers. We seek intimacy, friendship, and a sense of home in other people. Once we feel loved, we move to esteem. This is the stage where we seek mastery, achievement, and respect, not just the cheap respect of fame, but the deep, internal respect that comes from knowing you are competent. But Maslow's true genius was realizing that even at the very top of the ladder, a new kind of divine restlessness begins. Even if you are safe, loved, and successful, you will feel an agonizing emptiness if you aren't doing what you were uniquely made to do. This is the summit: self-actualization. It is the realization that what a man can be, he must be. Self-actualization is often misunderstood as becoming perfect or celebrity-like, but for Maslow, it was about authenticity. He found that people who reached this level shared a rare set of traits that set them apart from the average person. First, they possess an unclouded perception of reality. Most people see the world through the fog of their own fears and wishes, but self-actualizers see things exactly as they are. They aren't threatened by the unknown, they embrace it. Second, They have a democratic character structure. They don't care about titles, status, or social hierarchies. They can learn from anyone, whether it's a world leader or a street sweeper, because they value the human soul over the social mask. Furthermore, they are driven by what Maslow called meta-motivation. While most of us are motivated by deficiency, doing things because we lack money, love, or power, self-actualizers are motivated by being values. They do things for the sake of truth, beauty, justice, and goodness. They don't work because they have to. They work because their craft is an extension of their very existence. In a modern world of 2026 where everyone is performing for an algorithm, the self-actualized person is the only one who is truly real. They have stopped becoming and have finally started being. Have you ever been so deeply immersed in a moment that the rest of the world simply vanished? Perhaps it was while painting, listening to a perfect symphony, or standing in silence before a vast mountain range. Maslow called these peak experiences. During a peak experience, the ego, the I that is always worried about the past and the future, simply disappears. You lose your sense of self and feel a profound, overwhelming unity with the universe. Time stops. Maslow believed these weren't just nice feelings. They were glimpses into our true nature. He noticed that in our high-speed digital society, we have become peak shy. We trade these profound, soul-shaking moments for shallow hits of dopamine, scrolling, consuming, and distracting ourselves. But the peak experience is the ultimate proof that the human mind isn't just a machine for survival. It is a vessel designed to touch the infinite. It is the moment where the climb ends, and for a few brief seconds you aren't just a human being having an experience. You are the experience itself. Maslow gave us the map to the summit. He showed us that we are works in progress, capable of reaching heights we never imagined. But as we look down from the peak, we see a dark reality. If we are capable of such greatness, why is the world still so full of cruelty? Now that we have seen the light of our potential, we must confront the shadows of our nature. In Chapter 10, we dive into social psychology to discover why good people can turn into monsters in the blink of an eye. The climb was beautiful, but the descent into the human shadow is about to begin. Don't forget to subscribe as we continue our 12-part journey through the evolution of the human mind. Because to change your life, you must first understand the machine that creates it.